Well, hello there, YouTube, and welcome to Monday's edition of The Breakfast Club. I'm Got That Funk, and I want to thank you for joining me. I had the extreme pleasure earlier today of spending an hour with my son in London, just having a cuppa in Starbucks and getting caught up. We don't get to see each other in person as often as I might like. Once or twice or three times a year we manage to get together. We live a little over 100 miles apart, and both of us work full time, so it just isn't very easy or convenient for either one of us. So yeah, it doesn't happen anywhere near as often as I might like. And this is the first time I'd seen him since November when we went to California together. Anyway, so I'm sitting in Starbucks, listening to my son regale me with tales of his life. And I'm just beaming with pride at the young man that he is. And I, I knew I wanted to be a father from the time I was a little kid myself. I think it all started when I used to watch a TV show called The Courtship of Eddie's Father, which starred Bill Bixby as Eddie's father, and I don't know who the kid was. And Eddie in the show was probably like 8 or 9 years old, I guess, but that was a couple of years older than me. And Eddie's father was a widower, and I remember thinking about how sad it would be because I was really close to my mom when I was a kid, and I think, oh, it'd be so sad to grow up without a mom. And it also made me think about how difficult it would be to be a father by yourself to a kid. And that's what sort of started me thinking about parenthood when I was a kid. And then I think by the time I was 8 years old, I had sort of made up my mind that I definitely wanted to be a father. I wanted to have at least one son and one daughter and all this kind of stuff. And I mentioned this once on my YouTube channel some time ago. And one of my friends, Stan Marsh 1, commented on the video saying that he's 29 and still doesn't know if he wants to have kids or not. And that's where I'm going with this video. I knew from a very young age, and I even knew why I wanted to have kids, from a very young age. I wanted to have kids because I wanted to have the experience of being a parent. The idea of bringing someone into the world and helping them to figure out, life and how to be a person and all that kind of stuff just seemed really cool to me. And also I wanted a chance to improve on the mistakes that I thought my parents were making at the time I was growing up. So yeah, I definitely wanted to be a parent from a very early age. And it occurs to me that, Stan's comment on my YouTube channel just reminded me that, not everybody thinks like that. Some people don't want to be parents at all. My friend Steve Shives, for example, doesn't want to have children. And I know plenty of men and women, both, who don't want to have kids, and that's a fair enough decision. Everyone's, got their own choices, but I'm curious to find out what your choices are. What do you think? If you've never had kids before, do you know if you want to have kids, and what factors would it take you to, what factors would you have to consider to make that decision if you don't already know? If you do already know that you definitely want kids, or definitely don't want kids, if you don't want kids, I don't really feel it's necessary to explain yourself. I mean, everyone has their own reasons. Some people think the world's too overpopulated. Some people just don't like children, and I don't think there's anything wrong with that. I love kids myself, and, if they weren't so damned expensive, I probably would have had more than two. Anyway, but if you know you want to have kids or don't want to have kids, I would love to hear from you in the comments section and just sort of talk about how you come to your own understanding of what you want. If you've already got kids, whether you're raising them still or whether they're already grown up, the question is still valid. I mean, when did you know? Did you not realize you wanted kids, for example, until you found out you were pregnant and you're like, yeah, you know what? Okay. Everyone's got their own story, and I'd like to hear yours in the comments section down below. I've got no idea if JJTalkz is going to talk about this subject tomorrow or another subject. We'll have to watch your video and find out. Until next week, thanks for watching. May all your ups and downs be ups.